It's a One Zambia, One Nation, and a very warm welcome to Zanis News, where we look at the top stories in the news. Southern Province to have an MFEZ in Namwala. Government introduces wetland cropping program. Lusaka Province Minister Shao Muliata commends Church for partnering with government. Plus, Solwezi Mayor urges youths to be agents of change. With the news in detail, my name is Margaret Kangwa. Now, Southern Province Permanent Secretary Naman Monzes says the proposed establishment of a special multi-facility economic zone for beef and crop production in Namwala district will provide markets and create jobs for the locals. Dr. Monzes said this when he led a delegation of technocrats and some heads of government departments from Namwala district on a familiarization tour of the multi-facility economic zone in Lusaka. Details in this report.
Namwala district is poised to have a special economic zone facility for beef production. This development is aimed at boosting the local economy, considering the huge cattle population, which currently stands at 152,000. This is likely to immensely benefit the local population as it will create jobs and other business opportunities. In order to actualize this initiative, Southern Province Permanent Secretary Namani Monze led a team of technocrats and Namwala district leadership Lusaka South Multi-Economic Facility Zone and the Zambia Jiangxing Economic Cooperation Zone in Chivombo District to learn on how the concept can be replicated in Namwala.
Our purpose of coming is to understand how exactly you established yourself, learning lessons, particularly on how to start and also how you manage to choose partners to be part of your economy.
There is an opportunity for us to create special economic zones for beef. We have the land, we have the water, and we have the manpower.
Abel Monga is the Namwala Council chairperson.
That's the line in which we are thinking. We have the raw material already. We have animals already. Yes.
The Zambia Jiangxing Economic Cooperation Zone, the team met the management.
The Jiangxing Economic Cooperation Zone, it is the first economic and trade industrial zone jointly built by state-owned enterprises of Jiangxi province. And this is an important platform for promoting the common development of Jiangxi province and Zambia's economy.
Trans, a company dealing with transformers, was also another destination for the team.
Zamtrans Limited, of course, is an aspiring company, a very beautiful company to work in. We are aspiring to be a leading manufacturer in transformer and its equipment overall. This involves fixing, operating on transformers mainly, but even selling.
Wahinda Piri reporting in Namwala district of Southern Province.
A businesswoman of Kabwe has advised women to seize opportunities that can better their lives and those of their children as opposed to limiting themselves. Christabel Ranke, who is a proprietor and co-founder of Kev Chokonela, says women are by nature castles of prosperity for their families as well as communities as they play a role of nurturing. More in this report.
It is said that a woman who has strong personal values can achieve. So is the case for Christabel Ranke, proprietor and co-founder of Cafe Chokonela, which has become a household name in Kabwe due to its mouth-watering meals. From an academic background, with no training in cookery, Christabel and her partner saw an opportunity to open a restaurant that could not only offer meals but also a serene ambience for people to meet, eat, and chat.
First of all, invested in myself, invested in my community, and that's what we're trying to do here as Chokonela, but also to empower the women around us. It has to start from ourselves. If our families can see how empowered we are, with no disrespect to the other gender, but just that we are able to stand to represent as an extension of the family.
There were challenges on the way, but with strong personal values, the couple stood strong. As the country celebrated the International Women's Day, Christabel advises women to embrace their traditional roles and also look out for other opportunities for growth.
Our disposition is to nurture, to mother, to grow. So whatever knowledge we bring, we embrace to our bosom, whatever it is, good or bad, it will grow. So an investment is something you expect a return from. So if you invest in yourself as a woman, if your community invests in you as a woman, whatever comes into your contact, into your bosom will grow, because that's a natural disposition of a woman.
Hlupekile Nkunika for Zanis in Kabwe.
Thank you for that report. Now, the Zambia Tourism Agency ZTA has sealed a partnership with the German-based tourism organization. And First Press Secretary to German, Luwinda Kashewe, says ZTA has partnered with RSR Bundesverband, a German-based tourism organization, to promote Zambia as a destination of choice. She has explained that the partnership was sealed on the sidelines of the just-ended ITB Berlin Tourism Trade Show in German, which was graced by Tourism Permanent Secretary Evans Muhanga, who promoted Zambia at the event and showcased what the country is offering to the European market. Now, in a statement made available to Zanis, Ms. Kashewe says Mr. Muhanga explained that ASR Bundesverband is an alliance of all travel traders in Germany that do outbound tourism by sending tourists to many other African countries. Mr. Muhanga also pointed out that potential tourists find it easy, reassuring, convincing, and more believable to select a destination recommended by the trade partners, destination market companies, and their booking agents, especially when they receive positive feedback from those that have been there before. Now, following the dry spell that has negatively affected the agriculture sector in the country, government thought the Ministry of through the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services has introduced an emergency wetland cropping program to ensure food security is enhanced at household level. Mazabuka District Community Development Officer Kashweka Mubalu says the beneficiaries will be given winter inputs under the program. Details in this report.
The 2023-2024 farming season has been negatively affected by droughts experienced in most parts of the country. Most crops have dried up, leaving farmers wondering how they will survive threats of a hunger crisis. At Benumringa compound of Kaunga Ward in Mazabuka Central constituents, the situation is nothing different, as farmers are looking up to government to give them hope.
So tulomba lugwa nohulumende kuti mutu gwahe togomba mutu gwahe tulahwa tuyamagowa
kwaye jino jindi mapope onse agayuma obumbu agabobo agayuma nubani so kulumba kupati kuhulumende kwa kuti mutu gwahiriye kuinda wawa kuchita kuti tujigwahe kulya
kondi bedano ndiri mulema kandi chisiba ndi gwahiriya ndichisibana mbondirera batasiba manyina.
But government, through the Ministry of Community Development, has embarked on community sensitization program to give information of future plans laid down to cushion the situation. Due to this natural situation, not all hope is lost, as government has introduced a wetland crop program where inputs will be distributed for planting during winter, as a plan by government to ensure food security is enhanced at household level.
The government has responded to the crop failure that has been experienced due to the dry spells that we had in Southern Province and Mazabuka district to be in particular. So as a department, we are going to be implementing the emergency wetland cropping program where we are going to identify and also help the affected beneficiaries within the district. As a department, we'll be implementing this program. So we are really, really happy that at least food security will be enhanced at household level.
Currently, very few farmers that depend on natural rains will harvest as expected, and the newly introduced wetland crop program targeting riverbank areas with natural waters such as Shimongalu will act as a positive move to the availability of food at household level. Kazalaya Bwanda, Zanis, in Mazabuka district of Southern Province.
Now, in other news, Lusaka Province Minister Shaun Mulyata has commended the church for working with government in fostering development. Ms. Mulyata has since urged women to continue working with government in fighting teenage pregnancies and early child marriages. She was speaking when she graced the Mothering Sunday at United Church of Zambia Busokololo congregation in Chawama. Evelyn Masialeti filed in this report.
Women Christian Fellowship of Busokololo congregation celebrated Mothering Sunday with songs of praise and dances. The women also lit candles in honor of their departed members. The celebration was attended by Lusaka Province Minister Shaun Mulyata, who graced the occasion. Speaking during the service, Ms. Mulyata commended the church for working with government to foster development.
So the church and the government must work together. We are partners in development. In looking at the job, the work that you are doing, I strongly believe that the women who Sokorolo, you are doing it, Mwandi, congratulations.
The minister also urged women to help fight teenage pregnancies and early child marriages in communities.
Muli matenda, muli abuse. Mupeza vana bankalika abuse. Vana bali raped. Vana sivaenda kusukuru because vaina mamimba. Muli ma challenges ambili.
And UCZ preacher Beatrice Banda called on Zambians to hold on to God even amidst the drought.
Even in the midst of drought, our Sabala Chitesipabwa. Tukalapa Paviat Mwene Satuachitesha put through in the midst of this drought. But each into each Kalamba, trust God with all your heart.
Evelyn Masialeti, reporting for Zanis in Lusaka.
Thank you so much, Evelyn, for that report. Meanwhile, over 100 girls got pregnant in 2023 in Kasenangwa district of Eastern Province have been taken back to school. Now, this follows interventions by the Break Free Project, whose objective is to improve sexual reproductive health and the well-being of girls. Here is a report.
Government is working with various stakeholders in order to curb teenage pregnancies as well as promote sexual reproductive health rights among adolescents. In Eastern Province, the Break Free program is an initiative that targets to safeguard the welfare of adolescents and young people against teenage pregnancies and child marriages. Break Free program National Coordinator Wilbrod Kampolwa made a spot check at Kwenje Rural Health Center in Kasenengwa District to appreciate the implementation of the project by a local non-governmental organization called Chisomo.
The Break Free is an advocacy-oriented program, and so we work so much on lobby and advocacy, and we have built the capacity of different adolescent and young people, parents, religious leaders, traditional leaders, as well as ensure that there is increased community involvement through different approaches. We mobilized over 80 adolescent and young people who are now working as youth hubsters, who are now championing the cause, particularly in addressing child marriages, teen pregnancies, and ensuring that there is linkages between the health facilities here with the adolescent and young people, particularly in service provision, as well as in providing health education in the communities. Just this year, they have managed to bring 3 girls who had been married off, and they have since been taken back to school with the support of traditional leaders as well as the parents and the teachers. Last year, we recorded an outstanding number from this district, 125 girls who went back to school as a result of these interventions.
And Chisomo Executive Director Annie Chiseni outlines the progressive work of the Break Free program.
Chisomo came in to train the young people in sexual reproductive health and also as peer educators so that they can be the ones to take the information to the young people in the area. And because of that, we have seen some changes. And today we are here, we are getting information from the young people on how the information that they are taking to the young people has helped the young people to go back even to school. For those that had fallen pregnant before, they have been able to convince them to go back to school.
These are the youth upstarts spearheading the Break Free outreach programs in a peer-to-peer approach in Kwenje area.
Present ngatakumana kuno ku youth friendly corner timaphunzisana pa matopiki yosiyana yokuzana na nkhani za ubereki. Phunzisanso ma adolescent kuti mwamene angapewere matenda ava ya ma STIs ni through using ma condom. Si ma condom yeka amene yangateteze kuti munthu asatenge ma STIs na through abstinence.
Inathandiza ko vanhu venango vamene vali vana vachepere vamene venza vanaleka school apa nikamba so vali ku school apa benzomvera so ni utabwerere ku school. So after kuvachita sensitize kukamba na veve bwino vanakwanisa kuti vanapanga decision vanabwerera na ku school. So far venango winango ali grade 8 then venango ni grade 6.
Sylvester Chimba for Zanis in Kasenengwa District, Eastern Province.
Well, a very powerful program there. Now, Zambia and South Africa have signed 3 implementation agreements aimed at enhancing training for defense personnel for the 2 countries. The programs are on exchange of directing staff, exchange of students, and exchange in the field of health science. Now, Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku signed on behalf of Zambia, while South Africa Acting Secretary for Defense Tobekile Ngamede signed on behalf of South Africa. More in this report.
After 3 days of deliberations, the 10th session of the South Africa-Zambia Joint Defense Committee meeting has come to an end in Pretoria, South Africa. Delegates from the 2 countries have been meeting, deliberating on matters pertaining to defense and security. A number of resolutions have since been made, and 3 implementation agreements have been signed. The agreements are aimed at enhancing training for defense personnel for both countries on exchange of directing staff, exchange of students, and exchange in the field of health science. Ministry of Defense Permanent Secretary Norman Chipakupaku signed on behalf of Zambia, while South Africa Acting Secretary for Defense Tobekile Ngamede signed on behalf of South Africa. And speaking during the closing ceremony, Mr. Chipakupaku described the meeting as successful.
It is gratifying to note that the objectives of this meeting have been attained. I have noted that our technical experts engaged in open and candid discussions as reflected in their report, which we have endorsed this morning. Specifically, Chair, I am very, very happy that the 2 delegations underlined areas that need improvement in our noble quest to strengthen the bilateral cooperation in the field of defense and other spheres. Chairperson, I can only emphasize that these decisions need to be implemented as agreed and as soon as possible to sustain the relevance of this committee.
Dr. Ngamede also described the meeting as fruitful.
This milestone session has further solidified, I must add, the enduring partnership
between our two nations, emphasizing the significance of collaboration in addressing the dynamic and not only dynamic but complex challenges that shape our region, regional security landscape. Our deliberations have been marked by a shared commitment, co-chair, of fostering peace, stability, and resilience in the face of evolving threats.
The 10th session of the Republic of South Africa Zambia Joint Defense Committee meeting was held from the 7th to the 9th of March 2024. Jane Simalumba Zanis in Pretoria, South Africa.
Now, government has commissioned 12 Constituents Development Fund CDF projects in Pongwe district, valued at 10 million kwacha. Among the projects include the construction of a maternity annex, water reticulation systems, classroom blocks, and boreholes. Details in this report.
Dubbed as the game changer, the Constituency Development Fund CDF has continued to impact positively on numerous communities across the country. In Mpongwe district, the local authority has so far commissioned 12 projects from its 2022 Constituency Development Fund CDF at a cost of over 10 million kwacha. District Commissioner Baton Mukomba graced the commissioning of the 12 projects in the area.
Pongwe district has in the past 3 years witnessed massive development like never seen before. I'm happy to inform you that we are officially commissioning 12 projects at a cost of 10,891,536 kwacha Nongwe.
Emmanuel Masanga is Mpongwe Town Council chairperson.
The local authority has a technical team in charge of monitoring all CDF projects. This team has been on hand to provide technical support so as to ensure implementation of various projects is done in line with the specification of the contract.
Locals are happy with the projects commissioned so far.
Pano twatota fo kubuteko mukutulanguluka kwesu kabutwaliro buteko kutulanguluka ko ati nakambi kasuba bakutubikira pona vimbi vya utfinga tofwako
nasangala la padi kliniki mwatuletera kuno turapenga myendero yesu kuno kwesu wachinondo turenda po 2 hours kwibenga 2 hours so mwatula mwina ko abantu abakwata 50 kwata amapafu chino kupapira munshira ni malwela alekenelekene turachino kulwadira munshira.
Noah Kangali for Zanis in Mpongwe.
Now, a women's group in Pulungu district has thanked government for the Constituents Development Fund empowerment programs. Blessings of Jennifer Women's Group chairperson Sandra Kalondo says the group has managed to expand the 15,000 kwacha grant from government to about 100,000 kwacha. Ms. Kalondo says the group, which first started through the village banking, has grown and is now engaging in different business activities. She has encouraged other women groups to apply for CDF empowerment funds to engage in productive ventures.
Our blessings of Jennifer. Tuletotela sana ububuteko abafuntula ubwika shibwabana mayo. Twala mana kwa CDF ngabala ilanda kunchende shimbi twala mana kwa tirimbi. Chintu chimo ichafisa manangu ichamafisa kanwa. Mu 2022 twalipokeleko 15,000. Mukubombesha kwesu ngabana mayo na buchishinka mukati twali bombesha twakwata kona 100 pin. Twali sachita kwa again apply. Ukuipusha nombo kumona kwa bati ifwe tatuli tunya utwakonka muri 15 chapwa ifwe pano na tupoka na loni iyo hili na approved ni 100 pin elo no kubwesha tatwaka filwe tukabwesha pano maya icho bala isa tupela na imbi 1 million pamela ndwani bombesha CDF yaisa mukutwafa ifwe bana mayo mukulola kasha amafya na mayo ashingwana nayo ububuteko bwa
Now, Solwezi Mayor Remi Kalipa has urged youths to be agents of change by contributing to national economic development. Mr. Kalipa says in line with this year's theme for Youth Day celebrations, Zambia at 60 Be the Change, government has confidence in the youths to develop the nation to greater heights. He said this during the inaugural Youth Indaba held in Solwezi district ahead of Youth Day celebration on Tuesday. Marin Lovu has details in this report.
Solwezi Mayor Remi Kalipa says over 400 youths benefited from skills development bursary under the 2023 Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation. This came to light at the inaugural Youth Indaba held in Solwezi district as part of the activities lined up ahead of 12th March.
I can confidently state on this platform that the increased CDF has positively impacted on a substantial number of young people who have either accessed skills training bursaries or school bursary support. As in December 2023, a total number of 428 applications for skills training to various institutions were approved. 838 loan and grants applications were approved respectively.
And Solwezi Acting District Commissioner Anton Fulwe has urged young people to have keen interest in issues of national development.
Who says that the youth cannot contribute to the national development?
A panel of discussion on the need to enhance youth participation in CDF programs was also held.
We have the CDF guidelines. So for 2025, we'll start advertising next week on Thursday. Our advertisement will be out, we'll stick it in all the public places.
By the coming of the new government, they have realized the money should be taken closer to where the young people are. And that's the same money now, which has now come in the form of the CDF. That's why we are hearing the component of the youth skills.
Gift Zunda gave a vote of thanks on behalf of the youth.
We are grateful to the new government for initiatives that are aimed at helping the youth drive positive development.
For Zanis in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province, I am Marin Lovu.
Thank you so much, Marin Lovu, for that report. We continue with the news. Now, youths from Kabwe's Seventh-day Adventists this morning joined hands in cleaning the Central Business District as a contribution to the town ahead of the Youth Day commemoration on Tuesday, March 12, 2024. And Kabwe District Pastor Michael Mukenda says people should contribute towards a clean environment to prevent disease associated with poor hygiene. More in this report.
The youths of Kabwe Adventist Church this morning came together to clean the Central Business District as part of the Youth Day commemoration. This is a contribution and a way of making an impact to show up in cities in line with this year's Youth Day theme.
To the families that were affected. So as a church, we were affected such that we wanted to come in and see how we could be able to help the community so that they also appreciate the work that we are doing. So we are here to clean the town. We are aware that cholera comes from the bacteria from the dirt that we throw around. So what we want is to keep the town clean. So our main ideal policy that has brought us here is the cholera outbreak, so that we just keep the town free.
The exercise was being carried out in all the districts of Zambia.
Northern Zambia Union Conference, we thought of this exercise should be disintegrated to all the districts. Now we have our colleagues out there who are doing the same activity that we are doing in their towns.
The youths advise citizens to take a personal responsibility of cleaning up to prevent diseases that are associated with poor hygiene.
They should take part, not to wait for the government, maybe to use the council and many other officers that help to clean the cities where we do our businesses. We as citizens of the country, we can do our part to make sure that the environment where we are doing our businesses can be kept clean so that we can prevent diseases.
Zambia will on Tuesday, March 12, honor the country's youths and their contributions to society. The Youth Day will be commemorated under the theme, Arise, Awake and Realize the Power You Hold. Shupekile Nkonika for Zanis in Kabwe.
The Mazabuka Municipal Council says it appreciates effort by the Seventh-day Adventist Church SDA in the district by complementing the local authority in fighting the effects of climate change. And the SDA Church district leadership for Mazabuka South and North have come together to collaborate with the local council in cleaning and partnering and planting of trees aimed at conserving the environment during this year's annual Global Youth Day celebrations under the theme, Show Up in the City. We have more in this report.
The negative impact of climate change has seen Southern Province suffer droughts which has affected agriculture and livestock. The Seventh-day Adventist Church has taken a step ahead to be part of the solution in addressing climate change. Mazabuka South and Mazabuka North Mission District's Youth Wing have dedicated this year's Global Youth Day celebrations to save the environment by joining hands with the local authority in planting trees, which they intend to take care of.
We are doing cleaning and we're also doing tree planting. Now, we cannot overemphasize the importance of planting trees because, as you know, we are having challenges to do with climate change. And Zambia is actually one of the countries in Southern Africa which has been affected a lot by the climate change. Our rainfall pattern has been so bad to an extent that this year, even the president himself declared that there's a disaster in terms of rainfall. So it is affecting food security. Basically, what we are trying to do is to show the community around that if every person can be involved in the country to plant one tree, we can be able to combat climate change, because the more we plant these trees and the ecosystem, the way it works, when we take care of the environment is going to take care of us.
Other church leaders feel this step will change the environmental outlook of the district and will contribute positively to the restoration of the rainfall pattern.
Support the government of the day by cleaning up the areas where we are in the society, and as you know, the health environment is potentially a wealthy society.
And this tree, I will name it as the tortoise tree. I will take care of this tree to see to it that this tree grows up. Apart from that, the reason why I want to plant these trees is we want to deal with the climate change that we are facing in our country.
Meanwhile, Mazabuka Municipal Council has called on other stakeholders to emulate the Seventh-day Adventist Church in adding value to the environment.
The local authority is aware about the SDA youths who are cleaning in the district, and we appreciate the works which they are doing. And we also appeal to other stakeholders, other people to also emulate what the SDA youths are doing in the district.
The SDA is commemorating this year's annual Global Youth Day with a theme, Show Up in the City. Gazala Yabanda, Zanis, in Mazabuka district of Southern Province.
Now that item brings us to the end of the news. Before I finish, we look at the headlines once again. Southern Province to have an MFEZ in Namwala. Government introduces wetland cropping program. Lusaka Province Minister Shao Muliata commends Church for partnering with government. Plus, Solwezi Mayor urges youths to be agents of change. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been Margaret Kangwa. Enjoy the rest of our programmings.